Hello, this is Michael from UENPD. I'm going to show you in this video how to use modules to plan ahead. Right now I'm on a course I've titled Modules Demo Course just for the purpose of this video. And I'm going to demonstrate this scenario that I'm a secondary English teacher doing a unit on books by Ernest Hemingway. I've selected these 4 books for the students to read: A Farewell to Arms, The Sun Also Rises, The Old Man and the Sea, and For Whom the Bell Tolls. Along with these 4 novels, I'm also going to do a series of lectures at the beginning about the life of Ernest Hemingway and how he became an author. So what I've done is, in planning to use these novels and this intro, I've gone out and found images on the web of the book covers and a picture of Ernest Hemingway writing at his campsite. I'm then going to create a module for each one of these, including the intro, and add a discussion, an intro page, an assignment, and a quiz to each one. Now, since these items have not yet been made, they're going to be kind of like skeletons or a shell that I'll fill in later. So what I need to do first in this course is come over to the word modules, which is grayed out right now because I haven't made any. Then I have a choice of either creating a new module or adding existing content. This is the page you see when you start a new course. In this case, I'm going to create a new module, so I can either click this icon here, or if I have modules made already, I'll come up and click the blue Add Module. The first module will be an intro, so I'll call it Intro to Ernest Hemingway. Then I'll click Add Module. That module now appears at the top of my list, and it's unpublished, which is what this little symbol right here means. If I click the Publish button, it's now visible to students once the course is published. Inside the module is where I can add content like a page or discussion, assignment, or quiz. So I'm going to click the plus button here, not to be confused with the Add Module button, and add a new page. I'll add a content page. Any of my pages that are already made will be listed here, but this is a new page, so I'll click the new page in brackets and put the name here and call it Life of Hemingway. Then I click Add Item, and the page lives here. The page, because it hasn't been edited, is also unpublished. Click the Publish button here. The green check mark means that it is published and it is visible. Remember that if items are published inside of a module and the module is not published, that would then by default make these items not visible either. So be careful that your modules are published if you want anything inside to be shown. The page is empty. It's a blank shell, as you can see from here. But that's okay. I'll come back and edit this later when I'm ready to start putting content into the course. For now, I'm just using modules to build a framework for the course that I'll then populate later. Another item I might have in here is an assignment. So I click the plus button in the module, go to Assignments. I haven't made it yet, and I'll call it Read and Review Hemingway Articles. Again, haven't made the assignment yet or put any details in there. This is just a shell. Let's go back to the home page and see what other modules I need to make. They are A Farewell to Arms, The Sun Also Rises, The Old Man and the Sea, and For Whom the Bell Tolls. So to add these 4 modules, I return to the modules page, which now is black because it has modules in it. And I no longer see that Add Module icon in the center, so I'm forced to use the Add Module button in the upper right-hand corner. The first one was The Sun Also Rises. Add Module, and it's created. I'm going to continue to add the modules for the books. I have The Old Man and the Sea, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and A Farewell to Arms. It's self-populating right now other modules I've made in the past, but I won't click on that since this one is not a demo. Now, if you remember from the home page, that order of novels is not the order that I have them reading. Instead, I have them start with A Farewell to Arms, then the sun also rises, the old man in the sea, and finally for whom the bell tolls. So let's go back to modules, and you'll see that I'll be able to move them around because there's this little ice cube tray right here on the left. So A Farewell to Arms was first. I'll click and drag that up above. Then the sun also rises, the old man in the sea, and finally for whom the bell tolls. Let's check and see if that's correct. Perfect. Now, if I want to make my navigation of this course really fancy, I can take each one of these images here and make them be a link to one of the modules. To do this, I'll click the Edit button on the page. And you'll notice that my pictures are simply added to the page just one after the other, nothing fancy. And I was careful to make sure that they were relatively the same size. I did this by clicking on a picture after I added it and clicking the Embed Image button and then adjusting the dimensions here. So the first picture will be a link to the module about Ernest Hemingway's introduction. So if I come over to the far right of my page, this is where you find all the links to things that are already inside your course. Here's the Modules tab. Let's make that a link to Intro to Ernest Hemingway. It flashes yellow, indicating that the link has been added. A Farewell to Arms, I'll link to A Farewell to Arms. The sun also rises, the old man in the sea, and finally for whom the bell tolls. Once all of these links have been made, I'll click the Save button. And now you'll notice that when you move your cursor over an image, it becomes a hand. Remind your students that this means that is a link. So if I was a student and wanted to jump strictly or straight to the Old Man in the Sea, I'd click on the book, and there's the Old Man in the Sea module page right there. Within each one of these modules is where I'll add the items that will go in there. So again, this is just a shell. So for A Farewell to Arms, I will add a page, a new page called A Farewell to Arms Background Info. This is where the students can come and learn about World War I or the Spanish-American War and the characters and the life and the times of the book. If I click Add, I also have the ability to add a discussion. So I might call this World War I background questions, where students can ask their own questions about World War I. I can add an assignment that I'm going to use later. And this assignment is going to be a sock puppet movie trailer. I'll have my students make videos with sock puppets of what the movie trailer would be for this novel after they've read it. And I also know that I'm going to have a quiz. So I'll click Add, change assignment to quiz, click New Quiz, and call it Farewell to Arms Comprehension Quiz. None of these items have any content in them because I'm simply going to come back and edit that later. But you've seen how I can add modules, move them around, add items to the modules, publish the modules, and then even from the home page using images or text if you prefer, link to those modules. And there's A Farewell to Arms. Not only does it link to it, the module with the module at the top, but it opens all the items. Good luck using modules. I'm sure you'll find that for just a little bit of work and a little bit of time, it'll pay off greatly for your students with easy navigation and access to the content, and also allow you to plan your course long range and have a skeleton or shell built to put your content in later.